Hi, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Christy. If you've ever felt guilty about starting a personal project just for fun, this one is for you. In this episode, we're talking about why those small creative sparks matter. The projects that have no client, no deadline, and no agenda except to bring you joy. From block printing Sundays to painting tomatoes, we're sharing how personal projects can reignite your creativity and remind you why you started making art in the first place.
Okay. Christy, Coco wants to know, what is your favorite art material that you're using right now? Because she likes to swat things off the desk, so she wants to know what would be the
What's
thing
next?
she's swatting off your desk.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this later, but I spent a lot of time doing block printing and then I kind of put it away. But in the last week, I pulled out my block printing materials again. So I will say, is it a material like Speedy Carve
Yeah.
and my nice carving gouges?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have like a whole set?
No,
They're called gouges of the little carving tools?
I think they're called gouges. I don't know. So I started out with the Speedball, like all the things in the handle,
That's
cheapo.
what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started. I did that for several months before I allowed myself to purchase a nicer tool. And then I purchased one nicer tool. And then after a year of doing block printing, I like slowly added 4 other size gouges. So I have, I think, 5 in my set of nice ones.
And do you find with a tool like that, it really does matter to have like nicer tools? Or is it just a nice to have, but not like critical?
So it's definitely a nice to have. What I found was when I wanted to do the really tiny details, I couldn't make them as tiny as I wanted with that Speedball set.
Yeah.
Just because the smallest gouge was just not small enough. So that was the first thing I bought, was a very small gouge, which was like, I think it's like a number 11 anyway, U gouge. And that made a huge difference in what I was carving and what I was getting out of, the detail work that I wanted. I was finally able to do it. So, but I only invested in one tool. Like, I didn't buy a set. I was very tempted to buy a set, and I was like, no, I wasn't convinced that I was going to stick with it yet. So I just bought one tool.
I think you're so good at that. I love your prints.
Thank you.
I think they look so good. Every time I see them, I'm like, oh, I want to do it, but I'm like, I'm terrible at it. I can't get a proper line. It's really sad, actually, but that's okay.
Practice.
It's all right.
It's like anything.
Practice. I don't have time for that. I mean, I have trying to practice other things. That's what I mean. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I'm trying to practice other things and be like focused. So
yes. What is your favorite tool or art material?
Right now, I'm really into, I don't think I have it on my desk for it being my favorite. I have another example, but it's not the right color, and it's really bothering me that I don't have the right color. I'm really into these Faber-Castell, Albrecht Dürer. Oh yeah, Faber-Castell. The watercolor pencils. They have this beautiful blue that I'm obsessed with that's in my other art kit. I'm enjoying these because I can travel with them pretty easily, and just a little water brush, and then I can use them as a colored pencil, or I can use them like to get down more, like swaths of color. And they're just fun, and they're very inexpensive. So I don't feel weird about just burning through them. So yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Thanks. It's good. All right. Today, go for it.
We are talking about the importance of personal projects. Yeah.
What's the first personal project that you worked on that you can remember?
Okay, I was trying to think about this. And actually, preparing for this market that I'm doing reminded me. This is probably not my first personal project, but it's not too far in the past. It's not like I didn't do it last week. It's in that like nice middle point. So in 2020, I decided to do 12 Days of Christmas
Mm,
sweater edition.
hmm.
And so I did 12 Christmas sweater illustrations. And that was like a totally self-imposed, like, I just got like this idea to do this thing and I did the thing.
And did you do them on your iPad? Did you draw them by hand? Did you like, and like what inspired you? I'm guessing it was Christmas time. So you were
Yeah.
maybe inspired by the season.
Yeah. I did them, let's see. So I really wanted them to look like a knit, not like the little V's of knitting, but
Mm.
like how when you see like something that is knit that is like a scene or a drawing, like it's always little like squares. It's like pixelated practically. So I really wanted to use like that technique. And so I did all of them in Illustrator. And at the time I think at the time I didn't touch Procreate at all back then. I didn't know how to use it, to be honest. I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't know how this works. I don't
Yeah.
have time to learn this. I'm going to do it all in Illustrator. So that's how I did it. Yeah, it was really fun. And then, yeah, what inspired it was purely just the season and just wanting to have some kind of a project to kind of, keep me moving forward. Yeah.
And
What about you?
are
Oh,
these the sweaters that you've now made into stickers?
yes. Yes. So for this market that I'm participating in, I was like, okay, I need products to sell, and I don't generally sell products, so I was, like, looking at all of my art. So, this is just, like, a shout out to people who feel like they can't use their old work. I made those in 2020. Today it is 2024. I'm selling those stickers at an art market. Like,
For sure.
don't
Yeah.
feel like you have to make new art for everything.
No.
Go back to your
Oh,
old work,
goodness.
like, recolor it or not, like, just use it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I had to think about it. So I dug deep into my Instagram and I
Ooh.
found, I'm not even sure why I did this, but I think it was 30 book covers. So I
Oh.
drew the book covers on my shelf. I picked 30 books and I just recreated the cover, probably in like
Oh.
watercolor and ink, and that's all I had at the time. So that was back in 2019 when I was just sort of starting to get into drawing again, and I literally don't remember where that idea came from, but when I was going back through my Instagram, I was like, "Oh, some of those are not bad. Some of them are awful." And my lighting is terrible, which is just something I battle with all the time, but I was yeah, okay, these are okay. And then I did a series where I did every letter of the alphabet in a different style. And that was
Ooh.
just because, I mean, as a graphic designer, I'm just sort of obsessed with type as well and type design and fonts. And that was a fun project. I made it really small. It was just like maybe 4 by 6 or something. And then probably the last biggest personal project was motivated once I learned how to make patterns. And then I did
Mm.
it's also a challenge, but it was like a self imposed challenge to create the 100 patterns in 100 days. And that really taught me a lot about planning, perfectionism, and basically the ins and outs of Illustrator. I have since
Yeah.
forgotten, but those shortcuts were so familiar by the end of it. I mean, I could like whip out something pretty quickly. And one of those patterns was licensed. So that's pretty
Nice.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Fun.
I think it's really important to have a personal project. I mean, especially when you're starting out because you may not exactly have like a direction or you're not sure where you want to go. So I think it's good to kind of follow your interest and make
Mhm.
what you want to make and not worry about the end result or what it may turn into. I think it's
Mhm.
personal projects are a little bit different once you get your sleeves rolled up and you're like in it and you're working and you've got a creative business and you're trying to make money from your work. So I think at
Mhm.
that point personal projects can serve kind of a different purpose. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I first wanted to say, like, the difference that, from my point of view anyway, the difference between an art challenge
Yeah.
versus a personal project versus client work, which to me, client work is like something totally different.
Yeah.
But like an art challenge versus a personal project, I think personal projects, it's going to sound like woo woo and somebody might say ridiculous, but like they are like birthed out of you, right? You like the sweater thing. I don't know where that came from. But I woke up one day and literally was like, I want to make a 12 Days of Christmas sweater series. I don't know where that came from. Like, it just came out of me, and it was something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that's like the difference between a personal project and a challenge. Is a challenge is, usually somebody else, or you can set up your own challenge, but you've set up a like guide rails around this project, and it might be working toward a particular goal. And a personal project can do that as well, but I feel like personal projects are just like, they're just something you really want to do, something you
Yeah.
really want to experience, something you want to practice. And like you said, they might lead nowhere. They might lead to getting something licensed, but you don't enter into it thinking, I'm going to do this personal project so that I can get licensed in this thing.
Right.
It's just like you're doing it for the joy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like some days kind of like your sweater example, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, and I catch myself doing this a lot. I'll be like, man, I really want to paint tomatoes. I just really want to paint tomatoes, like on the vine, off the vine, sliced, in quarters, like heirloom tomatoes, Roma tomato. I just want to paint all the tomatoes. I want to paint tomatoes. And I will go days, sometimes months, and I'll just be like, no, 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 no. No. What is that going to get you? No, you don't. What are you doing with painted tomatoes? Like why? And the reason is because they're freaking fun and I want to paint tomatoes. So paint the damn
Yeah.
tomatoes. Have I done it? No, not
Oh,
yet. But I'm just saying that it is this thing that kind of can be a little bit unexplainable in the sense that maybe you're not sure where it comes from. And don't be like me and deny yourself that, because if you want to make something, make the thing and don't even worry about it. And I'm telling you this out loud so that I can hear it for myself, take my own advice. Maybe I will commit to painting tomatoes this afternoon. But it's just, if you have that creative idea in your mind and you want to do it, don't hold yourself back. Like, do it. Do it for yourself. Super important, because other creative works that you do, whether it's for clients or whether you're trying to get something licensed, you're making patterns, people are going to have rules for you to follow or whatever. And this is something that you just make purely for yourself, something that you enjoy, something that hopefully relaxes you, or if you want to be challenged, it's something that can challenge you. And if it does end up, like you're saying, like you made those sweaters 4 years ago and now here you are, like selling them at a market. I had one Sunday where I was like, tinned fish. I really want to do tinned fish. And I was like, I don't know where that came from. So I like Googled some. I mean, I kind of know where it came from. When I was in France, there was this store of just tinned fish, and I bought so many different flavors, and the design was pretty cool on each of the cans. And I'm always reminiscing about like when I was in Paris, and I must have been doing it that time. And I was like, I'm gonna make some tinned fish. And so I looked up some ideas on Pinterest or wherever, closed the windows, and then just started making my own. And I made them twice, like once kind of like as a sketch with pencil, and then in a different sketchbook I went in and used like Neocolor twos and black pen and like a pencil. And then a month later I got an email from an art director, and one of the things she was looking for was tinned fish. I kid you not. So of course I sent it, and then it got picked up for licensing. So random, I don't feel like that's normal. I'm really excited. I mean, again, guys, I make 4 cents off my licensing, so I'm not like holding my breath, but it can turn into something. But also I feel like it's good if you just do it for the love of it. And I'm talking too much, so sorry.
Oh no. I think that's so fun. It's that creative spark that you feel, you don't know why, but you just are like, yeah, I'm just going to do that thing. I think we all need to do and hear that more,
Yeah.
because I know for myself, I can get caught up with what's trending right now. I need to be trying to make work that's really saleable. And I do that sometimes, but there's lots of times where I just am like, I just really want to draw this thing, like to see
Hmm.
how it goes. and
Yeah.
and I enjoy it more a lot of the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
I also feel like a lot of the advice that I've heard from people who are farther along than us is, again, make the things that you want to make, and people will latch on. Your people, the people who are interested in those
Hmm.
things, will latch on to you. And those are the things that are going to be successful for you because your heart is also in it. It's something you're super
Yeah.
interested in doing. And if you want to get work, if I want to get work as a food illustrator, it would be good for me to paint tomatoes.
Yeah.
If I want to be known for horses and I'm painting tomatoes, that's fine if that's what I want to do. But also, I want to make the work that I want to keep making and ultimately get paid to make. So just start out making the work you want to make. Just do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my advice. But what do I know? I can't even take my own advice sometimes.
I mean, we're all like that, right? Like,
Yeah, I think so.
we have great ideas for other people.
It's so easy to be able to sit here and say, just do this thing. And yet I can't even do it myself. Okay, I'm going to
Hmm.
commit to I'm going to paint some tomatoes today.
Yes. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I promise. Not that anybody cares, but I will do it. What else do we
Do
want to talk about?
Have you had a personal project that's made a big impact on your creative growth?
I wouldn't say like a big impact, but I think every one of them helps in a small way. And I think that adds up because I find that the personal projects that I try to work on are ones that I need, whether it's
Mm,
I need it emotionally, I need it for fun or relaxation, or I need it to learn a new skill. So I just try to listen to my gut and make the thing that is going to help whatever I'm struggling with or whatever I need. And then to me, that's something that is successful. That's something that helps make an impact because I'm moving the ball forward. So,
yeah. I love that you said that it doesn't need to make a big impact. I feel like sometimes, for me especially, I'll like set myself this big project thinking it's going to make this big impact. And then when it doesn't, I'm kind of like, eh.
yeah.
But when I look back at all the personal projects I've set for myself, it's the same thing. I've learned something new. I've tried a new technique. I've done something that's helped move me forward. Probably the biggest project I've set myself was when I started block printing. And it was out of like, I hadn't felt like I was creative for a long time. I had limited time, like we always talk about, we have like full-time jobs. We're trying to do this art thing and we're trying to be creative, but our time is limited. So we have to choose our moments.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I know at the time my wife, Catherine, was working on Sundays. And so I knew on a Sunday I had a chunk of time in the house by myself where I could do something. And so I decided I'm going to block print because I enjoy it or I wanted to be better at it. And I spent a year every Sunday sitting at my table doing one block print. And it started out as like, I wanted to block print patterns. And then I, over time, like slowly made new like rules for myself. Then there was a month where I was like, okay, all the patterns are going to start out as a hexagon and you're going to figure out how to make that hexagon into a repeat pattern,
Wow.
but it didn't start that way. It started out
Mhm.
as I did one like pair and I
Pair.
just stamped it in a pattern. And then I started making things that interlocked and, I learned more. And so it was that year that, like, by the end of the year, when I looked through my sketchbook of all of those patterns I had made, it felt like a huge impact by the end of the
Mhm.
year. But if you had asked me month by month,
Yeah.
I would have been like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just doing this thing on a Sunday. and but it's also that even if you have a personal project where you don't have a lot of time to devote to it, that's okay. You can I made that thing I milked that thing for a whole year. Like by the end of the year, it felt like a huge win. I've also had the 12 Days of Christmas project where I literally did it for 12 days and then I was done.
Yeah.
So it can be whatever you want and it can have different levels of impact, right? It can be huge or it can be just something fun you did for a week and a half. But that's part of the joy of a personal project.
Yeah. I think that's the key word too, is joy. I mean, even if the purpose of your personal project is to learn a new technique, or I really want to learn how to draw figures, which is not going to be, well, for me, it's near impossible. So, like, finding the joy in doing it, because it is a personal project, it's for yourself. So, if you're not enjoying
Mhm.
it, what are you doing? Because there's a lot of things that we
Mhm.
do that don't necessarily invoke joy.
Yeah.
So, maybe you can make these personal projects something that bring you joy. I like the idea too that you did this block printing because you put everything in one sketchbook, right?
Yeah.
So how amazing to be able to go through and see from the first to the last, like the
Mhm.
development. And that's a really cool way to see, because you're right. Like when you're in it, sometimes you get stuck and you feel like you're not making progress until
Yeah.
you are able to look back at where you started and then visually see how far you've come.
Yeah, and there were plenty of weeks where I, like, did my block print, and I would post a little video about it on my Instagram every week. There were several weeks where I was like, "This thing sucks." Like, just, "This thing is terrible," and I would pack everything up and put it away and just feel like, "Oh, what a waste."
Yeah.
You know? But then there were weeks when it was really great. That's not to say everything's gonna be like this, like, upward trajectory either. It's definitely like this.
Yeah. And also, you don't have to, it is a personal project. So I know for me, the idea of sharing it on social media is an added layer of pressure. So if I'm
Mhm.
trying to use a personal project to learn how to use a new material that I'm unfamiliar with, I don't want to be burdened by this idea of, oh, I should share it because it's probably not going to be great. Not that everything on
Yeah,
social media has to be great, but it tends to be obviously we know it's the highlight reel. So
yeah,
you're putting that extra layer of pressure, which to me takes away some of the joy of it. I would
yeah,
say try to abandon any expectation of posting it. Obviously, if you want to, then do it. But I just
yeah,
feel like it's just like a given that there's this extra layer of pressure for it
mhm.
to look beautiful or look a certain way when maybe personal projects are best kept personal, you know, like just
Yeah,
for yourself or your close peers and friends and people that you trust, you know?
yeah. I mean, I've had a few kind of personal projects where the only place I'll share it if because I do feel like it's one of those things where I feel like it's helpful for people to see, but I don't wanna put it on social media, and I tend to use my newsletter for that because I feel like the people
Mm.
in my newsletter it's a small group.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it feels intimate. I get replies back from people from my newsletter, and so I feel like there have definitely been projects where I'm like, "There is no way I'm putting this on social media, but I'm gonna tell my newsletter about it," because inevitably, I'll get a response from somebody that's like, "Oh, thanks. I've been really struggling with creative burnout, and whatever you said gave me an idea to, like, do this thing."
yeah,
And so then I feel I'm giving back in, like, this tiny way to the artist community that I wanna cultivate and that I love being a part of.
right.
But
Yeah,
that
that's
said, you
good.
also don't have to put it in a newsletter. It's just if you that's one of my workarounds
Yeah,
sometimes when I'm like, I can't put this on social media, but I will share this with my email friends."
yeah. No, that's great. Similarly, I will post some things on Substack that I would never put on Instagram. Why I feel better about that, I'm not sure. Probably because this idea of the Instagram feed being a certain way, this
Mhm.
curated sort of thing, although I do think we are moving away from that or have been moving away from that, I still want it to look nice-ish.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like my Substack, I can just put up sketches and things like that. not something I would ever put on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Substack is a newsletter, and I do have a newsletter, but I think we've talked about how I haven't sent it in a year. Those people aren't getting it. Sorry, guys, if you're listening.
It's all right.
And do you find that you like to use personal projects if you're ever feeling like burned out? Do they help you in any way? Or like, how do you tend to use them?
I have never used a personal project. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever used personal projects to pull myself out of burnout or to like avoid it. I'm usually not prepared enough. I'm like barreling toward burnout too quickly to divert myself by a personal project. Yeah, it's like, it's too late. But I can see it as a tool, right? I can see how somebody would use a personal project as a tool, like to move you out of that place. Have you ever used them in that way?
No, I can't. And I know we're going to talk about burnout on another episode, so I don't want to go too deep, but if I'm burned out, everything is on fire. I'm not drawing.
Yeah.
I'm not touching my
Yeah.
materials. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's just not. Maybe I will sit on the sofa with a housewives show and markers and a very cheap sketchbook.
That's so
But
funny.
even
That is
that,
totally my go-to.
when you're
That is
burned
totally
out,
my go. If I like, no, if I'm burned out or if I feel like I want to make something, but I want it to be like, I want the barrier to entry to be nice and low.
yeah.
I always pull out my Tombos.
Oh yeah.
It is always my go-to.
Yeah. I do that, or I also learned from Emma Carlisle. She keeps a tiny pencils box on her desk, which are like her most used pencils. So she already knows they're like her favorite color. So I started paying attention to when my pencils get really small. I have a small box that I keep them in, and then I'll grab that. I could grab the Tombos too, but I tend to grab the colored pencils. And then I literally have a mindfulness coloring book, and I will use that as well.
That's a great idea.
Because then I can still make choices on color, but I don't have to make choices on what to draw or design or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it also just makes me feel like a kid again in a way, you know, like coloring something that someone else already did for me.
Yeah.
While watching The Housewives and maybe or maybe not drinking a martini. I'm not sure.
Ooh, I like all this. So let's talk about how to make a personal project manageable.
Oh yeah.
Or how do you incorporate them? Because we both, like we keep saying, we both have full-time jobs.
Oh my God.
How do you design a personal project that is not going to push you to burnout?
Again, I think it has to come for me from a place of like that, ooh, I really want to do that. That's something that's really interesting to me. And it comes from somewhere within and could be totally unrelated to anything else I quote should or quote need to be working on. So I try to follow that spark. And then I try to also make it as easy as possible, which is very hard because I've like already spent too much money on art supplies. So I get very overwhelmed with which ones to use. So I try to limit it, like watercolor and colored pencils or gouache and colored pencils, just something that's like very easy and not complicated. If I have more time, then let it rip. Spend as much time as you can, like working on it. You know, if you've got a Sunday afternoon or whatever, because again, we do work. Saturdays and Sundays are like our days off. Yeah, I just try to follow the spark and make it as easy as possible and not be hard on myself if I'm not doing it. I've been wanting to draw tomatoes for months. Okay, like I don't need to beat myself up about it. Just move on, do it or move on. So,
yeah.
What about you?
Yep. Very similar. Like the block printing is an example of I chose that one medium because it eliminated a bunch of other decision making that I would have to make. I knew I was going to make a block print. So medium is set, method is set. And then I kind of came up with a few, with a few kind of, the project grew. Then I decided, oh, this month I want to do this and this month I want to do this, but I kept it still within that same package. More recently, I don't know, I was just feeling like I wanted to draw more, and I had been following Katie Moody. I'm in her Patreon group, and she does a lot of drawing from reference. She has all these reference books that I'm always like, "Oh, I want more reference books." And so I bought this like birding guide, like this super cheap, like these are some birds you might see in the world. And so I literally I had no intention of being a birder. I was just
Yeah.
like, I need a reference. So I used like a teeny tiny sketchbook so that the format was very approachable. And then I used only colored pencils because I can take those to work. I can color
Yeah.
with them on my lunch break. I can do them at home. They're very portable and easy. So again, like just eliminating decisions and making it really easy on myself. And while I will say my hope was that I would fill an entire sketchbook with birds, I made it like, I think at least 2 weeks, like a bird a day.
That's good.
And it's something I can pick up again later, but I enjoyed it. And it was like, it was the same thing. I was just like, I just want to draw a bunch of birds, but I don't
Yeah.
want to have to look for bird references. Oh, I'm going to get this cheap book
Yeah.
and I'm going to carry it around with me and I'm going to draw birds.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. And do you have a personal project that you're working on right now or that you're like getting ready to do or thinking about?
I am thinking about, I would like to have more. Okay, I'm thinking about two things. I don't know which one I'm going to do. I'm thinking about Christmas art because we are filming these near the
Tis the
holiday season,
season-ish.
season-ish. And I don't have a ton of Christmas art. And part of me doesn't want to make Christmas art, but part of me does. Like I'm in this weird, I don't want to do it, but I want to do it situation. So I'm thinking about Christmas art. I'm also thinking about greeting cards. So what I think I'm going to do is a small collection of greeting cards that are for Christmas.
Yeah. Two birds
Yeah,
with one stone.
exactly. Because I'm not like, I've never really designed a greeting card, but I'd like to.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you're supposed to keep the only thing I know about greeting cards is that you should keep the text in the upper
High.
third so
Upper
that
third.
people can
Okay.
see it when they're stacked in rows, like in the shelves.
Yes.
So
Okay.
whatever
Good
their
tip.
sentiment is, higher up on the card is usually more advisable.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
Excellent. I'll let you know if it happens.
I'm sure it will. Knowing you, you do the things you say you're going to do. So I have no doubt you'll do it.
Some of the time, I do the things I say I'm going to do. What about you? Do you have any personal projects going on?
Well, today's tomatoes.
Yes, obviously.
I really, like I said, I've gotten pretty out of hand with my art supply consumption. So it's to the point where it's paralyzing. So I think
Mm,
for me, the personal project, it is a personal project because I am excited about it and I'm interested in it, is to like paint fruits and vegetables and still lifes with gouache and some watercolor. But ultimately, to update my website, it's a personal project. But again, it's like this is the work I kind of want to be making moving forward. So make it for myself and put it out
mm-hmm.
there. And hopefully the work will come in that way. So yeah, I think that. But also personally, since we are discussing the holidays,
Mm.
I might want to do Emma Malioka's Christmas challenge.
What is the challenge?
It's an Advent challenge. I think that there are
Oh,
probably 12 or 13 prompts. It's not like 25.
mhm.
I don't think. If there's even 12 or 13, there might only be like 8. I don't remember. I just know that she's done it for many years and she's so inspiring. She's into winter and cold weather and it just gets me into it, and I don't know, it just seems like it would be nice and fun. And again, it's like that fun aspect. I'm not going to do every illustration. I'm not going to do all the prompts. I'm just going to do the ones that feel right. So I think those are the main ones: tomato, squash, and Advent challenge.
Just a few challenges.
Just three. Just three. While doing client work and working full time. Yeah, just 3.
Yeah, you got this.
But burnout, we save
Um,
that for another topic.
yeah, another topic. Okay, just to kind of put a bow on this.
Yes.
And if somebody's feeling like, how do I give myself permission to do a creative project just for yourself?
Okay, you need a pen and a piece of paper, and you need to write down, I deserve this time for myself.
Amen.
Right? I mean, that
Yeah.
whole idea of this is so woo-woo.
We're both here for this, right?
But that idea that you can't help other people if you can't help yourself, right? So like you can't pour out of an empty cup. I hate that. I hate that I even just said that.
Put your oxygen mask on first.
Put your oxygen mask on first, then help your crying adult next to you. Okay? Yeah, so I really think that if you aren't doing these things for yourself, it is going to show up later. And I think it's important for you to take the time, and you deserve it. You fucking deserve it. Yeah. We work so hard. We work so hard. Do something nice for yourself. Paint those tomatoes.
Agreed. Paint those tomatoes,
whatever
everybody.
Your tomato is, whatever your quote tomato is for you, do that thing.
Okay.
Because also life is just too short. So really you should,
Agreed.
I don't mean should, but like I would highly suggest doing things for fun.
Yes. I completely agree. Yes, I completely agree. And also, don't even think of it as you need permission. Like, just, again, another phrase I hate, follow your bliss. Like, just follow your bliss. If you are excited about it, don't stifle it. Just lean into it.
Yeah.
Because that's the work that's going to be really good.
Is that Joseph Campbell that said that? Follow your bliss?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think he did like a 6-part. You know what? We're not going to go there.
Okay.
I think it's Joseph Campbell. I think he did like a 6-part interview with someone from PBS. I know if you're listening and you know, you're yelling at me right now because you know what it is and I can't think of it.
Just put it in the comments.
My old lady brain. My old lady brain is not working today.
Okay. And then I just want to say, people watching, if you are working on a personal project, if you have an idea for a personal project, if you need an idea for a personal project, tell us.
Tell us.
We want to hear about it. We want to hear about it.
I totally want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that could also, you could spark someone else, give someone else an idea of what to do. So
exactly.
Definitely leave a comment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Joseph Campbell.
We're going to Google that in just a second.
The Power of Myth. That's what it was called.
That's a great name.
It's an excellent series. 10 out of 10 recommend. Now that I know that that's what it was called.
Okay. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
good chat.
See you guys on the next one. We're going to talk about burnout. So if you're burnt out and you want a break, or you want some ideas, or you want to commiserate, we're going to talk about
here for it. We're here for
I'm going to go make a coffee first.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Ciao, ciao. Thanks so much for listening to Art After Dark. If you connected with today's episode, we'd love for you to subscribe and share it with a friend who's on their own creative quest. And if you want to follow along with our work, you'll find all the links in the show notes. Until next time, keep creating, and we'll see you after dark. No, I can't. Hold on. I'm in a divot. I'm stuck in a divot. It's the heater. We have a floor heater. I can't seem to get the right angle today.
I'm in a divot.
I'm in a divot.
Just like,
okay.
I'm in a divot.